The importance of medical terminology. Misspellings and mispronunciations in a medical setting can result in life-threatening situations. The patient was to have a colectomy, not a colectomy. Spelling and pronunciation are important. Many medical terms used today are based on ancient Greek and Latin. So pronounce each new word out loud to help familiarize yourself with the sound of a word. By saying the words out loud, you will develop muscle memory. Don't just think it in your head. And remember, these are pronunciation guidelines. Language is not a science or art, it is a craft. Long and short vowels are a guide to help you pronounce words. Try a long vowel sound if the vowel is at the end of the syllable. Try a short vowel sound if the vowel is in the middle syllable. And if in doubt, consult your dictionary. So let's look at the word roots. There are 3: word root, suffix, and prefix. Now, some educated people consider the combining form to also be a word element, to be the 4th element. And we'll talk more about that later. So the word roots. Just like a plant, the root is the basic foundation of the word. The word root is also called the stem or a base, but in this class, please call it a root or word root. Now, adding other elements, prefixes, suffixes, other roots, combining forms, to that root causes the meaning of the whole word to change, the meaning of the entire word to change. But the roots always mean the same thing. It doesn't matter what prefix or suffix is added. For example, cardi always means heart. So cardiography is a different word with a different meaning than cardiologist. Now again, an important concept. The root means the same thing no matter what. The word changes meaning based on the combination of word elements. So, for testing purposes, all medical words have at least one root. Now, there are some roots that are used so often together they have become considered to be one unit. For example, you might see Buddy, and then you know that Chris is going to be one step behind. You might see Mary, and you know Jane is just a heartbeat away. So an example, leukocyte is a root, and it's the combination of leuk, L-E-U-K, which means white, and cyte, C-Y-T, which means cell, and they were used so often together that they became the root leukocyte. And turning leukocyte into a combining form, it is now leukocyto. The combining form is leukocyto. So why is that vowel in the middle of those two roots? Well, it is hard to say without the vowel sound in the middle. Ask yourself, which is easier to say, leukocyte or leukocyte? So medical words that have more than one root are joined by a combining vowel. Adding prefixes and suffixes changes the meaning of the word, not the root. So combining forms are created when a word root is combined with a special vowel. As I said earlier, some authors consider the combining form to be a separate word element, the 4th element. And do note that I prefer to use the combining form in my flashcards and in my PowerPoint presentations so that you will know what the approved vowel, combining vowel is to use with that root. So we need combining vowels to help us with pronunciation. Now, what are the combining vowels? The two most commonly used are the letters I and O. The letter O is used the most. So if you have to guess what combining vowel to use, guess the letter O and you'll be right more times than not. My second choice would be letter I. Now do note we occasionally have E as a combining vowel, for example, in the combining form co-li. Now we use the slash technique in this class, and that makes it easy to see what the root is in a combining form. So the letters to the left of the slash, the diagonal, are the word root. The letter to the right of the slash, the diagonal, is the combining vowel. So for example, the combining form card-D, the root is card, C-A-R-D, all the letters to the left of the slash. Now cardio, on the other hand, the root is card-D, C-A-R-D-I, all the letters to the left of the slash. Now do note, card-D is very rarely used. It's only going to be used 2 times. You will use it with the suffixes ia and itis only. So please make sure you know this when it comes test time. With the combining form card-D, with the root card, C-A-R-D, the only suffixes you may use are ia and itis. So cardia is a condition of the heart. Carditis is inflammation of the heart. So again, make sure you know that with the root card, C-A-R-D, the combining form card-D, the only suffixes you may use are ia and itis. So, combining vowels aid pronunciation and join our word parts appropriately. So, when we are using more than one root, as in a compound word, you need that vowel to separate the different roots. It does not matter if the second or the third or the fourth root begins with a vowel. Now, it's really, really important that you listen to this. The rule about vowels and consonants only applies to suffixes. You will always need a vowel when you are joining roots together. So, the rule about vowels and suffixes is only for suffixes. You will automatically have to have a vowel to separate your word roots. Always. Yeah. So using the slash technique, here's some examples. Combine the roots gast, G-A-S-T-R, and enter, E-E-N-T-R, with the suffix logy, L-O-G-Y. So now again, instead of roots, I like to think what I have on my flashcards, gastro plus entero plus logy. Because again, the combining form is easier to say. So by doing this, I know what the root and correct combining vowel is to use when joining those word elements. So I know with gastro, I will always have the letter O if I'm joining gastro to any other word elements. So the suffix begins with the consonant L, so we do need a combining vowel to attach or to velcro the root enter, E-N-T-E-R, to the suffix logy. Notice that the root enter, E-E-N-T-E-R, begins with E, and it doesn't matter. We will make the word gastroenterology. So think of that vowel as Velcro. So again, entero plus logy makes up enterology. We need the combining vowel that comes from the combining form entero because the suffix begins with a vowel. To join the root gastra, G-A-S-T-R, to the root enter, E-N-T-E-R, we must have a combining vowel to separate all roots. It does not matter that the second root enter begins with a vowel. It does not matter. So joining gastro to enterology will be gastroenterology. I guarantee you this is going to be on several tests. So let's look at some other combining forms. Arthro is joint, so the root A-R-T-H-R. So arthro, use that combining form when you're talking about diseases and conditions of the joints. For example, arthritis, inflammation of a joint. Articulo, with the root A-R-T-I-C-U-L. Articulo also means joint, but you would use it for anatomy, position, direction, those kinds of things. You would not use articulo when creating words about diseases and conditions of the joint. So arthritis versus articular cartilage. So we've already said that cardi and cardio mean heart. A cardiologist is a specialist or one who specializes in the heart. Pericardial means pertaining to, around the heart. And again, at this early stage in the class, we will use literal definitions. We won't say that pericardial means around the heart because it has the suffix al, which means pertaining to. Dermato and dermo both mean skin. In dermato, the root is dermat, D-E-R-M-A-T. The combining vowel is O. So dermato, as a general rule, we use this for diseases, conditions, treatments of the skin. So think of a dermatologist, a specialist in the study of the skin. Now, dermo also means skin. The root is derm, D-E-R-M, and the vowel is O. But dermo does not fit a nice pattern. Sometimes it's used for position and direction, like the word hypodermic, and other times it's used for diseases and conditions such as dermopathy. So not dermopathy, dermopathy. So dermato, very nice rule of when to use it. Dermo, not so much a nice rule. So let's look at the more combining forms. So combining form patho means disease. The root in patho is path, P-A-T-H. So pathology is literally the study of disease. Now let's go ahead and add something new to your databanks. Look at the suffix pathy, P-A-T-H-Y. It's actually the combination of patho and the suffix y. So just like gluco and cyto are used so often together, they become one combining form. The same thing happens with patho and the suffix y. They become pathy. Used so often together, they become a new complete word element all on their own. And go ahead and make this note. Pathy is the only suffix we have that means disease. Pathy is the only suffix that means disease. Megalo means enlarged. So the root is megal, M-E-G-A-L. So megalocardia, literally a condition of a heart that has become enlarged. And megalocardia is the combination of megalo with the combining form cardi and the suffix ia. And again, notice that combining vowel joining the two roots, and that we use the combining form cardi instead of cardio. Question: is acro a root or a combining form? It's a combining form. See the slash and the vowel? So remember, if you don't see a slash, it's a root, not a combining form. So acro means extremities, and I remember Akron, Ohio, and I imagine that is an extreme distance from Smithfield, North Carolina. And the root is acra, A-C-R. So acrodermatitis is inflammation of the skin of the extremities. Inflammation of the skin of the extremities. And notice that combining vowel separating acro and dermato. The combining form myo means muscle. Myo, my. Look at those muscles. Been working out. The root in myo is my, M-Y. So myopathy, disease of the muscles. And it's myopathy, not myopathy. Cyto, you already know, means cell. And the root is cyte, C-Y-T. So a cytologist is a specialist in the study of cells. Leukocyto, meaning white cell. Now again, we do understand it to mean white blood cell. And again, leukocyto, two combining forms used together so often they became one combining form on their own. And the root in leukocyto is leukocyte, L-E-U-K-O-C-Y-T. So, leukocytopenia. It is a leukocyto plus the suffix penia, which means a decrease or deficiency of white blood cells. Uro is urine, the root is U-R. Urino is also urine, and its root is U-R-I-N. So urologist is a specialist in the study of urine, whereas urinary means pertaining to urine. So now, even though we have two combining forms that both mean urine, there's no nice rule of when to use one over the other. Glyco is sugar, sweet. Gluco also means sweet and sugar. In the combining form glyco, the root is glyc, G-L-Y-C. In the combining form gluco, the root is G-L-U-C. So hyperglycemia, a blood condition of excessive more than normal sugar, whereas glucose means pertaining to sugar, literally. So the question is, can you just learn sweet? Do you have to learn sweet and sugar? Can't you just say sweet? And it's like, no, you need to learn all the possible variations, the possible definitions, if more than one is given, because you don't know which one might make better sense in another word. Hydro and hydro sound the exact same. Hydro with an I is sweating, so think of a fire hydrant spitting out sweat. The root in hydro, H-I-D-R. Hyperhidrosis, a condition of excessive more than normal sweating. Hydro with a Y means water or fluid. So don't say just water, it means water or fluid. The root is hydra, H-Y-D-R. So hydrocephalus, the literal definition is very stilted. It's a noun for head with water or fluid. So literal is kind of clunky. But hydrocephalus is actually excess cerebral spinal fluid in the skull or the cranium. Hydrate would be something that contains water or fluid. Hystero is uterus. The root is hyster, H-Y-S-T-E-R. So hysterectomy, surgical removal of the uterus. Salpingo means fallopian tubes. The root is salping, S-A-L-P-I-N-G. So salpingitis is inflammation of the fallopian tubes. Pulmono is lung, pulmon on those lungs. Root pulmon, P-U-L-M-O-N. So a pulmonologist, one who specializes in the study of the lungs. Rhino means nose, and naso means nose. In rhino, the root is rhine, R-H-I-N, and we always use rhino for diseases, conditions, procedures, treatments of the nose. So it would be rhinoplasty, not nasoplasty, for surgical repair of the nose, which Joe or Jane would call a nose job. Naso, use this for position, direction, anatomy, placement for the nose. The root in naso, N-A-S, so subnasal not subrhino or subren, and it means pertaining to under the nose. Pharyngo is throat, the root pharyng, P-H-R-Y-N-G, and remember pH is always an F sound. So pharyngitis is inflammation of the throat or sore throat. And again, correction, it does not mean larynx or voice box. I don't care what the video in MindTap says, that is wrong. Pharyngo is throat, pharyngitis is inflammation of the throat, same thing as a sore throat. Hepatode, liver, he patted his liver, so hepatitis. Nephro, kidney, nephro is the kid on my knees. Reno, it's kidney also, so Janet Reno wears kidney-shaped glasses. So we have only one word element that means liver, hepatode, with the root hepat. But nephro and reno both mean kidney, and we use one for one thing, one for the other. So nephro is used for diseases and conditions such as nephrologist, one who specializes in the kidneys. Whereas reno, meaning kidney also, we use that for position, direction, anatomy, placement, such as a renal calculus, talking about a kidney stone, or renal failure. Spermato means sperm, spermo means sperm. There's no good rule when to use one versus the other. So spermatogenesis is the formation or production of sperm. Spermolysis is the destruction, breaking down of sperm. Arterio is artery, the root artery. Arteriosclerosis, hardening of the artery. Cyano means blue, the root is cyan, C-Y-A-N. So cyanosis, literally a condition of blue, condition of being blue. And we know that's not a good thing. The person is not getting enough oxygen because they're turning blue, gray, black. Not a good thing. Lympho is lymph, the root lymph, L-Y-M-P-H. So a lymphoma is a tumor or swelling of lymph. Adeno gland, the root is aden, A-D-E-N. So adenopathy, disease of the gland, again, not adenopathy, adenopathy. Now, lymphadeno is just like leuco and cyto. These two things were used so often, they became one word element, but they played a trick on us. It should have been lymphoadeno, but somewhere throughout time, those crazy Greeks, they got rid of the letter O somewhere. So pretend this exception doesn't exist. So lymphadenopathy is a disease of the lymph gland or a lymph node. But if you think of lymphadeno as being one big fat combining form, then you don't have to worry about where did that O go. Electric, the root E-L-E-C-T-R, I can't even say that. Electrolysis, literally the destruction, breaking down, or setting free by using electricity. Orchido, testicle, the male sex organ, so the root is orchid. Now think of orchids and seeds, and the seeds would be sperm. Orchiditis would be inflammation of the testicle. Epididymos is epididymitis, such a fun word to say, epididymitis. It's the area where sperm mature. The root in epididymo is E-P-I-D-I-D-Y-M. The suffix is is a suffix that means structure. So epididymis is the structure of epididymis. More combining forms. Genito is genitals or sex organs. The root genit, G-E-N-I-T. Genitourinary, pertaining to the genitals and urinary system. Notice that O separating them. Oophoro or oophoro, you can say it either way, oophoro or oophoro, but anyway, oophorectomy or oophorectomy, surgical removal of the ovaries. And I'm going to say O off a row because I won't leave out an O if I'm spelling it. Prostato is the prostate gland, as in the male genitourinary system. The root, prostat, Prostat. So prostatic, pertaining to the prostate gland. And again, you can imagine one might wind up prostrate on the floor if the man has prostate problems. So tricho means hair. Again, CH is always a K sound in medical terminology. So tricho. And as a general rule, we'll use tricho for diseases, conditions, procedures related to the hair. So trichiasis is a condition of the hair. Pylo, as a general rule, we use pylo for position, direction, anatomy, and placement of the hair. So in pylo, the root is pile, P-I-L. So pilonidal is pertaining to a nest of hair, as in a pilonidal cyst. Chole, we've already seen, means bile or gall. This is the substance that breaks down fat. The root in chole, C-H-O-L, and again, notice that combining vowel is the letter E. Cholelithiasis is a condition of stones that are made of bile. Colo is colon, usually the large intestine, the root col, C-O-L. So colitis is inflammation of the large intestine, but enteritis is inflammation of the small intestine. But gastroenteritis is inflammation of the stomach and all the intestines. So if you ever go, well, it's just all Greek to me, it is. So all our roots for medical terminology come from Greek and Latin. And so that's why it's possible we can have two or more combining forms that represent the same organ or body part. One is Greek, the other is Latin. So how do you decide when to use one versus the other? Well, for some combining forms, there are definite rules when to use one over the other. For example, nephro and reno both mean kidney. Nephro is only used when talking about things related to diseases, conditions, treatments, procedures of the kidney. For example, nephrology, nephritis. And reno is only used when talking about subjects related to location, direction, position, anatomy, placement, as in where is this organ. So suprarenal, renal calculus, otherwise known as a kidney stone. Some other examples, cardi and cardio, both mean heart. Cardi is rarely used, only use it with ia and itis, and I guarantee you you're going to test you on this. So with the exception of those two suffixes, use the combining form cardio. And unfortunately, for some combining forms, there's no definite rule when to use one over the other, such as uro, urino, spermo, spermato. It's in those occasions you have to consult your dictionary. So again, dermato and dermo both mean skin, and it is in tradition, as in the form of your medical dictionary, that we know we should say dermatology, not dermology. And if you look up in the dictionary, you'll see trichopathy, not pyelopathy. So again, it's not pronounced trichopathy, but trichopathy. And sometimes tradition lets you use either, but I recommend you always consult your medical dictionary. Dermatologists would use the word trichopathy, not pyelopathy, to describe diseases of the hair. And if you're shopping for an actual medical dictionary, the physical size can be a really quick indicator of the amount of word entries included, and this would be one case where bigger is better.